Hello everyone, 大家好. Today we're going to begin lesson 11. Let's start by looking at some of the grammar in this lesson. First up is the comparison pattern, X, B, Y, and then you add the adjective, and then maybe even a qualifier after that adjective. And the qualifier would be like a little bit better, a little bit stronger, a little bit smarter, or a lot stronger, a lot taller, a lot more efficient. So here we have a pretty simple pattern. The X's and Y's are noun phrases, could just be a simple pronoun. 我比你高. And if we want to add a qualifier, 我比你高一点. So I'm a little taller than you. Or if we want to make it a little more complicated, we could talk about 我的爸爸比你的爸爸聪明一点. So if my dad is smarter than your dad, and I'm trying to rub it in, we can get that through with this pattern. There's a lot more to it, but that's kind of in a nutshell. And speaking of this ityar, we can also use ityar in without the b. So a lot of times it comes with the b comparison marker with the x, b, y. But we can use it without. So you can just have 老师请说慢一点. Please speak a little slower. 你得快点. Hurry up. Come on, you gotta speed up your process here because we're waiting on you. 快点, 快点. You hear that a lot on the streets of China. Another comparison we have in this lesson introduced is the X 跟 Y 一样, and then something 一样好, 一样不好, 一样好吃, 一样贵, or 不一样贵, 不一样便宜, 不一样聪明. So if we have, or 不一样大, so we have all of these adjectives can be put in that ADJ, just stands for adjective. But X's and Y's are, once again, the X and the Y are going to be noun phrases for the most part. Nouns and nouns phrases could be complicated ones. Could be, my classroom at university. Could be the room in which I met you that one day, and so on. So they can be complicated noun phrases, but otherwise it's always going to have a 跟, or you can also put 和 in between the X and the Y as well. 和 and 跟 would be fine. The other thing to note about this pattern is that the adjective is not really, we don't know which the X's or the Y here is actually more adjective than the other. It's just letting us know that either these things are the same or different. Okay, 乐. 乐 we've had before to complete an action. 吃饭了吗? 吃饭了没有? 吃了. So I've eaten, I haven't eaten, 我没吃. In that case, you wouldn't use the 了. But now we're going to look at 了 a little differently. And 了 isn't so much about completing something as it is marking a change. Sometimes this is introduced as change of status. 了, the status being the situation has gone from one state to another state. So a simple example, since we're talking about weather in this lesson, is to talk about, oh, well, now it's raining. 下雨了. So we need the 了 on there to indicate that before it wasn't raining and now it is raining. Or 下雪了. Now it's snowing. So 了 just kind of marks that change of that state. 我今天好了. So if somebody came out with a sentence like that, 我今天好了, would indicate that in the past, yesterday maybe, they weren't feeling so well. Or maybe they were depressed. 我今天好了. 好了 would mean that now they are good, whereas before they weren't so good. 了 is a surprisingly little, very useful particle that gets a lot of meaning infused into it in different situations. 不但而且 was introduced in the dialogue, but wasn't actually explained very much within the grammar area, but it's a nice kind of pattern. Not only this, but also that. 而且 being a conjunction. The 不但 they make a point of saying that this could be optional. We don't have to have the 不但, but we would have to have the 而且 in that sentence. So in the dialogue, we have 不但不会下雪，而且会暖和一点。So there's that 一点儿，暖和一点。So we have it's going to be a little warmer, but so 不但不会下雪, so we have a lot of booze going on there. Not only 不但 not only is it not going to snow, but also it's going to be a little warmer. So 不但不会下雪. So we can have not only not only are we going to have a test next week, but we're also going to go on a field trip. So we're going to do a lot of things basically. You could have fun with this pattern as well. 会 comes back in at us in this lesson, not so much as a verb in the sense like you've learned how to do something, which we've had before, like 我会说中文，我会开车，我会喝酒。So all these different 会s are just saying something that you can do because maybe you learned how to do it or physically able to do it. But now we're going to talk about 会 in a situation where we're talking about an upcoming event, something that's going to happen. We've had 要 to talk about maybe 快要到了，新年快要到了. So the new year is coming, but that's not really something that I'm going to do. I'm not the action of that. I'm not the agent there. But with 会, I can become, or someone can become kind of the agent of the action. So 我明天会给我妈妈打电话. Tomorrow, I'm definitely 会 give definitely going to call my mom. 我明天会给她打电话。我今天晚上会做功课。So tonight, I'm really going to do my homework. 我会做。And, so whenever you're going to do something, you can always use 会. And that brings us to the grammar challenge for 11.1, where you will be creating a comparison using the be pattern, and then describing something that won't happen using 不会. So 会 is can happen, will happen. In the future, 我明天会去上课. 明天不会去上课. I can't go to class tomorrow. As a logical result of that initial be comparison. Have fun with that, and we'll see you in class.